Hi, my name is Mike, and I'm here to read a comic. And today's comic is Batman, issue number 251, dated September, probably 73, 1973. This is an easy comic to talk about because it is a classic. It's actually a comic I remember was on the newsstand. In first grade, I think one of the students had brought this comic in, and I saw the cover, and I was mesmerized by it. But I was too shy to actually ask him, hey, can I read it? And it was the first Batman comic I ever saw, much less own, because I did buy the issue after it, 252, which is a lot less. It was not as good as this issue. Although I will look at that issue since it was the first Batman I owned. See the cover. The cover is a classic one, oversized image of the Joker dominating Batman. So he's owning Batman. He's laughing at him, making him feel like a little inferior child, showing him off to the city as how weak he is. Neil Adams cover, absolutely beautiful. Neil Adams' artwork was just so good at this point. Then he kind of left comics for a while. He didn't draw very much after this. So anyway, I'll go into the story. The story is The Joker's Five-Way Revenge. The story is by Denny O'Neil, the art Neil Adams, and the editor is Jules Schwartz. Yeah, they made a very good team, those three. And I think the genesis of this story was that Neil Adams was discussing with Denny O'Neil, kind of said, we're looking at all of Batman's well-known villains, and they're all clowns. Even before the TV show, they were fucking clowns. And he proposed that maybe they should sort of correct this and kind of make these characters come back to what they originally should be, which is formidable and dangerous enemies for Batman. And they did that with Two-Face. They were able to do a story with Two-Face that kind of corrected Two-Face. Kind of made him a much more complex character, got some of the cartoonish stuff out. And this is the same with the Joker. So, and I mean, even though they got to this too, thank God they got to this, because this returned the Joker into the homicidal maniac that he was always intended to be. Okay, we see it's a rainy night. We see the Joker is behind the wheel. He is laughing his ass off. He's expecting something good to happen. Usually something good for him is something bad for other people. And so we learn that it's revenge. Apparently, someone in the Joker's last gang kind of snitched him out. And he was really pissed off about that. And he's determined to go through each member to see whether they were the one who betrayed him, and he's just gonna kill them all. And this is the kind of the glorious Joker that to his roots. This is the scary Joker. This is the Frank Miller Joker. This is the Joker that was seen in the Chris Nolan films. So anyway, we see there's a crime scene. It's dark. This crime is of so much importance that the commissioner himself, the commissioner of Gotham Police, showed up, Commissioner Gordon, to check in on this murder. The commissioner is saying to his underling here, I wish Batman would arrive, a real detective. So, but it turns out Batman's already there. He was checking out the crime scene. What they noticed about this particular villain, this particular victim, I should say, sorry for confusing my V's, is one, they know him. Apparently, this is a long-time ex-con. So these guys, the commissioner and Batman, they knew who this guy was. And he also has that grin on his face that unnatural grin, and that's something they've seen from the Joker when the Joker was at his deadliest. And it really, honestly, from the corpse, you should have figured out what it was. But Batman went a step further. He found the Joker card that the Joker left as his kind of signature. His signature that, hey, I did this.
The clubs, eight of spades. Isn't one worth a jack of the whole bunch?
Hey, Captain! What's that?
Yes, cards!
What?
Yes, cards! Let's
Yeah.
Charlie know who did this!
So he's not afraid to let people know, hey, I did this. Commissioner Gordon is obviously concerned that the Joker might be on a serial rampage. Batman says, you go through official channels, I'll go through my own. Not sure someone who in charge of a city's police department should have that attitude. But nevertheless, we go into the story. Batman is thinking about the Joker and probably filling us in that he kind of escaped from the criminally insane place he was in, probably Arkham. And he admits it's going to be tough kind of figuring out what the Joker's going to try to do. So, they're establishing the Joker. Batman figures, okay, I'll look for the last round of henchmen that the Joker had. One thing they did establish with the Joker is because he's kind of a psycho, not even other criminals really don't want to work with him. So these are the poor fools who accepted the assignment of, being a Joker's henchman. Because most crooks are like, I'll pass on that. So anyway, one of them turned out to be an ex-boxer, Packy White, and he sees the Batman. It seems like they're kind of on good terms. It looks like Packy went straight for the most part. He's still trying to keep in shape. He has a bit of a stomach, but he's an ex-boxer, so he's probably like a strong man for some type of criminal organization. He wants to show off his boxing skills to Batman, so he asks Batman to sort of hold on to the boxing bag. However, Whitey keeps missing the bag and hitting Batman, and he keeps saying, "Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to." And then finally, it gets to the point. Packy's like, "I'm not even going to pretend anymore. We're going to slug it out here because I really don't like you." So Batman and Packy are going at it. Batman is winning. So he's beating Packy pretty badly at this. But the whole time while Batman is beating up on Packy, he's also telling him, listen, there's someone out there who's a lot more dangerous than me, the Joker, and you really need, protective custody, or PC, as it's known in prisons. So Packy is persuaded by the Batman to allow him to be taken into custody for his protection. So he would be back in prison, but he would not be there necessarily for an extended period of time, only until they found it safe. And Packy's fine with this. He says, listen, I have lots of friends in prison. I'll get to meet them again. Hanging out there, even for a few months, is better than being a victim of the Joker. So Patsy takes some water from the what is it called, the pail, bucket and pail. So he drinks the water and he starts laughing. He laughs uncontrollably. Finally, it looks like he gives out and he dies. But he has the grin that the Joker's kind of poison leaves. So basically, the water that Packy was drinking was poisoned. Batman is pissed off because he's looking bad here because this is 2 victims so far. Even though Batman, there's nothing Batman could do, but he doesn't like the fact that the Joker is so far ahead of him. So He kicks the water so no one else drinks it. We go back to the Joker. Joker is talking to someone in kind of a sleazy hotel. Yeah, these are hotels I kind of remember around Times Square back in the late 70s, early 80s. You can see this type of hotel in a movie called Basket Case, which is pretty good. So anyway, these guys, the Joker is talking to this guy. He kind of looks like an accountant, kind of looks a little like Neil Adams. But I don't know if he drew himself into it. Also, Neil Adams is better looking than this guy. But anyway, Joker's questioning this guy, saying that, were you the one who kind of snitched me out? He denies it. He says, Joker, you're a great guy. And the Joker gives him a cigar. And the henchman, he kind of thinks it's a joke, saying it's just going to like pop in my hand like a party favor. Except that the cigar had nitroglycerin. My mouth is a little dry. He had nitroglycerin in the cigar. It goes off. Great artwork from Neil Adams. Joker walks away unscathed, saying, hey, rest in pieces. So he doesn't care about these guys. So this is three bodies. Three bodies on the floor in Gotham. And Batman is just starting. So so I think he found out about the other guys. So he found out about the three guys. He knows that there's two others out there. And he's guessing on a guy named Bigger Melvin to be around, because of the two, the last one is very old, so it would make more sense for the Joker to go after this young guy. And this again, this is a young guy, 21. He's a criminal. He's a hardcore criminal. Don't get me wrong, but this is a guy who made a bad decision very early in life. So anyway, he sees the Batman coming for him. He's not living well. He's kind of living in an abandoned boat. And it turns out that Bigger mugged someone earlier. So Bigger thinks that Batman is here for the mugging. But Batman is actually here to protect Bigger from the Joker. So anyway, he runs off. Bigger goes through a huge maze. He goes through all these containers. He's jumping roofs. He's going off piers. He's going into sewer pipes. So this guy is hardcore. When he wants to evade the law, he gets out like blocks away from the place. Bigger opens up a manhole, lets himself out, and right there is the Batman. And that's what DC wanted him to be called, not Batman, the Batman. So the Batman is right here. He catches Bigger pretty simply. He says, listen, dude, don't make me work. So Bigger is listening to Batman. He's warning him about the Joker. And he says, listen, I just want to put you in protective custody for a little while. Catch the Joker. Once the Joker's caught, we'll let you go. Bigger seems to agree with this deal. However, it quickly turns to he doesn't. So Batman is a little too trusting here as he's leading Bigger out of that dock area, because they had to be careful not to run into the Joker. Bigger hits the Batman from behind. So the Batman was a little too trusting with Bigger. He didn't trust the Batman at all. And he thinks Batman was trying to play him for a fool. And basically he has three items to get from his kind of squatter boathouse. His gun, his knife, and his toothbrush. And he says that, I get those three things, I can leave town. And Bigger is like, his last thoughts are, in a couple of minutes, my troubles will be over. And that's obviously foretelling, because immediately you see the psychotic Joker coming in. And this must be frightening to have this to happen in dark. The Batman wakes up. He's kind of like a little dazed. He's a little humbled too. He feels like he really let his guard down. That someone like him should never have been able to do it, but I was too trusting. He goes back to Bigger's place. He sees Bigger is hung. Great perspective from Neil Adams. It's not graphic at all, but it makes clear what happened to Bigger. And Bigger died a pretty painful death. But then it turns out that there's a figure from behind, and it's the Joker. And the Joker gets the drop on the Batman. He hits him on the back of the head. So Batman, he got clubbed in behind the back of the head a couple of times here. And not only that, the Joker's kicking him in the face. Oh my God. Multiple concussions. The brain damage alone from this one issue that Batman must be suffering from now, huge. Great image of the Joker. He has his foot on Batman's neck. Basically, you can kill him right there. However, the Joker is kind of taking this revenge thing as kind of a game. So to kill Batman before the Joker can prove that he can win the game, that egotistical part of him kind of stops him from killing the Batman. He kind of feels like he needs to one-up him one more time. So the Joker kind of leaves. He lets Batman. Batman knows that the only reason he's alive is the Joker wanted it. So that kind of ego boost was enough for the Joker for now. Batman wakes up. He's feeling crappy about being hit. This is kind of what he thinks here is something that is Spider-Man would. And he knows the Joker's playing him really bad. However, he also notices that there's some crude oil and some sand on his gloves, and that probably came from the Joker. So he figures that the Joker is somehow, at least hiding somewhere, or his vehicle is in touch with this material. Batman knows that there's one member left of that old gang, and it turns out his name is Bing Hooley, and he's actually he's in a nursing home. And Batman actually has kind of a cruel thought here. It's probably reflective of how Bruce Wayne thinks. He says, even criminals get old. Those who don't end up in the prison, the gutter, or the grave. Batman has like a very harsh opinion on criminals. We all knew that. So anyway, Batman goes to the nursing home where Bing Holem is being held. It's obviously a church run. It's a Catholic run facility. The sister there says that someone came and picked him up, and it turns out that he gave his name as Mr. Genesis. And Batman figures out the joke that the nun didn't get, and that Saint Genesis is the patron saint of actors and comedians, jokers. So the Joker used the false name that was indicative of how he thinks and how Batman would be able to solve the clue. Batman's back at square one because he knows the victim was taken. He has no way of tracking him. However, Batman remembers that there was oil and sand on his body when he fought the Joker, so he figures that maybe the Joker has a secret hideaway, at a beach area. So he knows the area where that type of mix would be. He goes into the modern Batmobile. I'm going to turn the page. See here. We see an in-house ad for the subscription service. And we see the first issue of Plop. Plop, yeah, I never really liked the comic humor magazines. Although Plop at least had some really good artwork. I think it lasted longer than most of them. Most of them, like, they last like maybe 3 or 4 issues. I think Plop lasted 2 years. So if we go back to this great story, beautiful artwork, Batman rushes to the beach, basically. He remembers that one of the beaches, there was an oil spill, which happened. I was 6 years old. My mom took me to the beach, and me and my brothers, we ended up getting the oil from the oil spill on us, and it was so painful because the crude oil hurt so much on our skin. So anyway, so maybe Batman had the same experience I did. Batman, he runs into the museum, the aquarium, because the aquarium's the only building there around the beach. That makes sense, because the New York Aquarium's right near Coney Island. Batman enters, he breaks in, I should say, into the aquarium. However, it turns out that he was right, that the Joker was hiding there. We see a great image of Batman shining a light on the Joker with a, shark teeth, framing the Joker. So then, the Joker tries some of his tricks like gas. Joker looks like he's running away, but the thing is, he's talking pretty smart here. He's talking with a lot of confidence. So it's more like the Joker is leading Batman into a particular area that he wants him to be. So they end up in, I guess, the main part of the aquarium, and we see the last hoodlum who is like in the infirmed nursing home. He's in his wheelchair, he's tied up, and it looks like he's going to be thrown into the tank, which is dangerous enough because you can just drown there. However, it turns out there's a shark in the tank. And apparently the Joker had somehow rescued the shark from the sea, brought him to the tank. The shark was already half starved. And you figured the Joker was keeping the shark hungry by not really feeding it that much. And obviously the idea is that he doesn't want Hooligan to drown. He wants Hooligan to be consumed by the shark. So that is fucking mean. Particularly when you think about Jaws. Holy crap. This is Psycho Joker here. However, the Joker makes a deal with Batman, says, listen, if you go into the tank instead, handcuffed, then I'll let Hooligan go. Batman, he can't bear to see a life taken, even if it's a life of a criminal. So he agrees to this. This is absolutely insane. But nevertheless, he's handcuffed from the back by the Joker. Batman asks, hey, why are you using a shark? Why a shark for this, big finale? And this beautifully drawn artwork of the Joker with a huge grin on his face, and behind him, the shark with his mouth opened. And he's saying, listen, can you see the resemblance? This is such great artwork. And so Batman goes in. Joker kicks him in. Joker has no patience. So he says, no, dude, you can go in right now. And then he breaks the deal, and he throws Hooligan into the tank too. So both Batman and Hooligan are in the tank. Batman goes, you promised. And the Joker answers back, yeah, I'm a liar, ta-ta. And Batman was a little too naive here. Nevertheless, Batman is double jointed, so he's able to use the water to basically help contort his body to get the cuffs at least in front of him, which give him a lot more mobility. Hooligan is still in the chair, but he's at the bottom of the tank. The shark is looking at Hooligan first as an appetizer. And Batman figures it's probably the red jacket. Batman then starts riding the shark. Again, more great artwork from Neil Adams here. And so basically Batman has the chain on the shark's upper jaw, and he keeps pulling back and back and back, basically trying to break the shark's neck. So he's riding, and at the same time he's running out of air, and the shark's doing fine. The shark is brutally killed, brutally murdered. It had to happen, because the shark was also looking to put them on the menu. Batman is concerned about his own life, but he's also concerned about Hugin, because Hugin is a lot older, and he was down there a pretty long time. Batman takes the wheelchair because I guess he can't swim up to the top of the tank, and he tries to smash the tank, and he uses the wheelchair to smash the tank. He keeps smashing it, and finally it gives. So the tank breaks. Both Batman and Bing Hugum, they're out. Bing is okay. Turns out Bing is still alive and breathing. So he was surprised. He figured that he was probably a bit stronger than he thought. Batman now can turn his attention to the Joker. He sees the Joker. He is pissed off at the Joker. Joker says, he notices this, says, hey, I see you this mad. I don't want to deal with you this mad. I may be nuts, but I'm not crazy. So Joker runs off saying, I still got a head start on you. And Joker does have a huge head start on him. And Batman, he's still impressed with the Joker's cunning. Because he says, after all this, Joker might get away. Then we see this iconic image of Batman running in the sand. I remember this being on puzzles. This was on posters. This is one of the truly iconic images that Neil Adams drew in comics. Batman is just absolutely determined to catch the Joker. However, it turns out just before the Joker reaches the vehicle on the beach, he slips. And he slips because there's a little patch of oil that the Joker didn't see. Batman is lording over the Joker. Joker kind of throws a right hand at him. It looks like a well-executed right hand. The Batman kind of does this weird punch I've never seen before, but it's one of these punches that looks like he's not taking the Joker seriously. He's just kind of saying, "Dude, you're making this too easy for me." Batman punches out the Joker, and Batman finds the humor in this, that he kind of pounced on the Joker. Joker's like, no, that's not funny. Batman says, I won, so I decide what's funny. Batman says, hey, I was thankful for pollution, and pollution being there to slip you up. So Batman, at least for that one small little moment, was fine with being a polluter. Yeah, when he's Bruce Wayne, he tends to think about that more. So anyway, that's the end of the story. It is a great story. The cover is iconic. I have a poster of the cover. So, okay, so we see an in-house ad. I would have loved to have read this as a kid. I think now I wouldn't care. Champion Sports, seeing the kid who beat the Oakland A's, and some little 12-year-old kid is striking out base, probably Joe Rudy. Anyway, so we see the letters page. Letters to the Batman. I see 3 letters here. I see 3 very well written letters. Someone is kind of giving an overview of what they feel about the comic so far. He likes the art. Yeah, he feels they're good stories. He likes Bob Brown's contributions. Giorno, yeah. So he's pretty happy with the Batman stories. He kind of likes the Robin stories too, because the comic was split. It was usually a shorter Batman story and then a Robin story. But in this case, this is a full comic, this one story. Yeah, I guess he's just saying he likes the direction of the comic. The other guy liked the issue from, I don't know what issue they're talking about. It's Death Kneel for a Traitor. But he likes the Bob Brown artwork. Yeah, Bob Brown, he was considered old-fashioned when he was drawing at Marvel. Death Kneel of a Traitor. Kind of likes the story, so he likes the story too. Sometimes these guys, they write nice letters, but they don't really get to the point. So yeah, I think people like the Batman comic at this time. I would have been thrilled with this issue. I ended up with the next one. So anyway, this is my review of Batman issue number 251 from September 1973. And I hope to have more reviews up soon. Bye.